All right, we're here at GBRS headquarters with Genesis Arms. They have come out for a few days to go over some of the platforms with us and do a few builds. Thanks for coming out. Looking forward to shooting some. Seen a lot on the internet, but glad we get you guys for a couple of days.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is the new gen-12 PDS. It's the personal defense shotgun. What's really cool about this system is not only is it a 5-inch barrel suppressed, this whole thing only measures 26 inches in overall length. So it's really the first purpose-built suppressed shotgun for the market space. And that lends itself to being used in night vision and set up more in a, I guess we'll use the word loosely, tactical for the professional end user. Set one up with just a flashlight, and then we'll use the Hydra mount to jump in with some night vision capabilities, especially with our real estate being so limited here. It needs an alternative to just mounting on the Picatinny.
Kind of for everybody watching too, you know, I see some different uses of it, but kind of where you're seeing a lot of the uses, not only law enforcement, home defense. Is it going international, just kind of national? Where is it at right now?
So this particular one, we debuted it at SHOT Show this year, earlier in January. And the intention behind this gun was really just to be a breacher, suppressed breacher. So we have another option of this where we remove the stock and it's just a little 4-inch buffer tube, and then that would be slung on the body and deployed as a traditional shotgun for breaching. Well, as I started to do the testing, we noticed that patterning with buckshot and accuracy with slugs was consistent to that of a 10-inch barrel or 18-inch barrel. We have 100-yard accuracy with slugs, and we have patterning which is equal to a 10.5-inch gun. It all of a sudden was like, well, now we need this thing to be shoulder fired. And so we also ran into situations where professionals would need to have a deployable stock because they do ammunition changeovers. So primary mission would be breaching, but then they have to break an engine block or some intermediate barrier. And then that's going to use a specialty round that requires some precision. So then they would deploy the stock, load that ammo, and make that more accurate shot.
Yeah, so 5, 10 round, 15 round mags? Sorry,
that's right.
5, 10, 15 round mags. Looking forward to shooting the 15 round mag for sure. But it'll take all different types of 12 gauge, right?
100%. Yeah, when the very beginning of the gen-12, the goal was Walmart ammo. So go to Walmart, buy your ammo, go to the range, and shoot your gun. So anything that Walmart would sell, we were testing it on. The other part of that is, as we knew, you know, in the early developments that we wanted to be a professional tool, you know, but a lot of times shotguns, they'll be dedicated to a specific round. So maybe it's high brass, you know, 13 plus 100 feet per second, you know, buckshot or slugs. But when you travel abroad and you're doing, you know, professional work internationally, you know, if it's in the military or some other foreign law enforcement, they just might have whatever's available and not the quality federal Winchesters that we have here in the States. So we wanted the gun to run all of that stuff, and I think we've accomplished 90% of that.
I definitely see the tactical application, but I think this is amazing home defense gun. That's what I always tell everybody. This is my ultimate home defense gun. 15 rounds of shotgun.
Yeah, it's devastating. The first time you run 22422 with slugs and you look and you have 12 1-inch holes in the targets, you're going, ooh.
Or we're gonna shoot some El Prez later today.
Oh, yeah, or you do it with buckshot, so it's 9 pellets every time you
whatever you want. Yeah, looking forward to it.
We got a video coming out soon, Zero Considerations. You guys are gonna want to check that out. The patterning.
Who the guest is?
Who the guest?
No.
It's
nobody.
Nobody. You'll see. Very special.
No, sorry.
Yeah, it'll be worth watching. Yeah. It was an interesting test going through all the different distances and zeroing that in. It was awesome. So
yeah, zero and then patterning too, and we'll do some of that today and kind of cover some of that. I think there's a few things that are interesting because it's on an AR-10 platform. Your height over bore is very consistent, so your sight picture on the range of what you're used to when you draw up and pull the trigger at 3 yards, 5 yards, 10 yards, it's pretty much the same thing. That training curve for someone to pick up this platform and go to the range and shoot, it's an easy transition for someone to pick it up. Plus, it's the same manual arms as an AR, so reloads and everything else are.
So that's coming out on your YouTube?
Yeah. I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of basement dwellers that are gonna come out. You can't do that, but we did it.
So, Brett, so everybody knows, name a YouTube channel.
Genesis Arms.
Okay. Just
Yeah, thank
clarification. So we want to start building this.
Yeah, let's mount it up, do kind of like a white light. And the other thing too, especially with the mount height that you guys run, with this particular stock, the PDS or the PDW style stock, you don't necessarily want to get right down on it or put your cheek to it. You can, I've done it, but 60, 75 slugs later, your dentist will be very appreciative.
I see you guys running EOTechs a lot. You guys run any other optics?
Yeah, we've run aim points, Trijicon, EOTechs for us have been the best mount to platform system. Generally speaking, like we've had aim point duty, the duty optic, the actual mount break off of the gun. We've replaced it with other mounts and had it maintain fine. So the optic itself didn't die, but the mount or the screws will give out. Same thing with Holosun or some of the other ones. The screws that mount into the base of the optics, they're like the smallest things I've ever seen.
Sure.
Yeah. At least aim point usually has a block, a recoil lug, and that helps a lot. But EOTech, big field of view. Additionally, the ones I have on the table are EXPS 3-1, so it's just a single 1 MOA dot, which is great for night vision shooting or precision shooting. But when you put the 68-minute ring on it, it's basically the pattern of your shot. And you can kind of figure out, like, if you took time with your barrel length and that ring, you could figure out what yard line your buckshot was patterning that 68-minute ring.
You were saying earlier, I think this is a good platform to test any of your gear because it's sure to break it.
Yeah. The biggest thing about it is it's the short recoil barrel. So not many people know this, like there's no gas system in our gun at all. So we don't have an impingement or a piston system. The barrel reciprocates. Underneath this, the whole barrel moves back, and that creates a cycle of operation. Now, on our regular stock systems, it's just a 308 buffer system. And then we do this is a fixed device, because if this was moving, it'd be like your pistol. So if you did a contact shot, you'd be out of battery. Our gun will still shoot if the barrel's depressed, but it just won't cycle. So we have a fixed muzzle device, or in this case, suppressor, mounted, and then the barrel is free moving inside. Totally eliminates the finickiness of all the variations you find within ammunition in shot shell. So a couple things I learned. I was never a shotgun person, but shot shells use different gas seals, base wads. They could be paper, cardboard, plastic, even the wad itself are all different. That construction is all different. So small, short brass versus long brass, all of those things are variables in how this will cycle. And we, using a short recoil barrel, help eliminate some of those variables, giving it the reliability, especially in a 5-inch barrel, which doesn't seem like that should be possible.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's build it. We got one with the Lerna kind of standalone, and probably be the first time some people will see the new Hydra V2. We're gonna build one with that too. So
Excited.
So we have the fix-it stick tool that's torqued at 45. This thing's been handy. I have that fix-it stick tool that's rated right to the torque ratings.
Nice.
Which makes it nice.
So you can't over torque it either?
You cannot over torque it with this thing.
Now, one of the things when we mount up our EOTechs, the biggest thing that we want to make sure is that you get a good lever tension. So when you're clamping this down and you go to clamp, you should feel the resistance about 3/4 of the way through, and then this should feel nice and snug once that clicks down. So we may have to adjust that once this fat bear gets put on here. Boom.
Now you said we were gonna put M-lock up here for the sling, or do you want to put lights?
Yeah, let's. Let's put a light on it. I have another sling mount we can throw up on the top too. So a couple things I do recommend, if you know how you're going to set it up and it's going to be permanent, then you want to put some blue Loctite on the M-lock screws on the actual wing nuts on these, and then once you torque it down, I'd even recommend on everything on the system is to use blue Loctite. I know some of our customers get mad because we put blue Loctite on everything in our assembly, but the vibration curve on a shotgun is significantly different than any rifle component out there. Most rifles will have a high peak and then they fall real fast for vibration. Shotguns don't do that. They don't peak as high as like a 308, for example, but they plateau. So you actually have this like energy that's lingering within the system, and that vibration will just inevitably cause things to come loose. In some of our earlier generation guns, we actually broke lights off of guns. And so we would recommend that you just mount it on the Picatinny. If you're not going to put anything else up here, you can do that. But this particular one, I like this Arasaka mount on the 5-inch, and it pushes the light forward. And you'll see once we get this mounted up here that it's pretty comfortable with the vertical grip that we got on here from Rail Skills.
Sorry, it's a habit. Get beat as a child.
If you weren't helping.
The lug nuts.
Oh yeah.
For the M-lock, kind of cutie on the back too. Just
Yeah.
so everybody sees.
So on the stock, we have an option you can put on the left or the right of the stock here.
Where you like riding it? I'll just say just as a righty, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it both ways.
Leave that one alone.
There you go.
Right? Cool.
What a view.
So white, red dot, sling.
Yep. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. Do you think you guys will come out with ambi controls? I know that has to be a question.
Yeah, I mean, I like to have that conversation a little bit about what ambi means. There's a few things about the gun that's a little bit different. Personally, like we have a left side charging handle option, but what you have to do is it puts a void in the upper receiver and it's reciprocating. So the issue with that for me is when you go to wear it, is you leave both dual charging handles on here, you know, as a righty. But if you were to take one off, maybe that would be the solution. A bolt release here might be something as well, but for me, one of the things you can do is just grab it with the fire hand itself. If there are malfunctions, the thing that I've run into is that they're a pain to clear because it's plastic and not brass. So having the strength to, like, for example, pin the stock and lock this back, grab the back of the mag or the pistol grip, locking this in, stripping that mag, and then getting back in the gun. It just lends to having that leverage where if you only had a left side charging handle and you're a right-hander, that manual of arms could or could not be a little bit different, right? So I've seen it where guys will, for example, they'll pull it back and they'll push the magazine release. Well, sometimes the mag doesn't drop. Well, now you're trying to figure out how to lock this back if you only have the one side. So right now, this is the most efficient way to do it. But yeah, I mean, obviously we're constantly innovating, and I'm sure there won't be too long before we have another version or whatnot, but.
We really just don't care about lefties. So.
We're just loud. We like to complain. Can I leave this out?
Yeah.
Grandma used to say, you never have too many cooks in the kitchen, or something like that.
So we got something new here from Vision Tech, new laser that they've been working on. See, what's nice about this one though is it's a side mounting battery. Because one thing when we're building these mounts, we always wanted to account for basically pulling that 3-volt out this way.
Yeah.
It's nice now that you can have the clearance right here.
Absolutely.
That was a big thing with the EOTechs a while back too, and they made the side mount. The catch.
What a view.
They do have this proprietary cable, but we'll clean this up some. It's an extra long cable, so
They weren't expecting such a short rail.
Just like college.
It's a lot of cord.
it is, yeah. And usually, you know, most of these companies only have about 7 inches of cable. But I think they were trying to make up for some longer guns, and also I think one of the original designs was for a heavier machine gun. So we wanted to make sure they had enough cable. A little more camera foam than we need, but
That looks good.
So just finished up these 2 builds. Got standalone optic riser on one, the new Hydra V2 on the other. Excited to shoot the 15 round magazine and get out there with you guys, run some build drills and see what these things are like and see what we can break. But no, I can't thank you guys enough. Got a nice little gym workout in this morning. Finish these builds and gonna go load up and go to Blackwater. It's been a little while. Been a minute there.
One round on each pattern. We did a 0 where we compared 15 to 50 at 100 yards, and they're negligibly different.
Negativity for bees.
Winchester 9 pellet, non-flight control. There you go. What I would expect. So we're seeing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, they're all. And you can see how much like devastation with the wad impacting right here. Yeah, that's to see the wad. Flight control, double out buck, also 9 pellet. Notice right there, it looks like a single hole. Yeah. Because those 9 pellets are still held together. Okay. So it's like a slug at that distance. So back to
Joey Hahn here with Cody from Genesis Arms, letting us shoot the Gen-12 PDS. Yeah, gonna run that build drill. That's 4.
It's because it's 10 round mag.
Yep. Math is easy.
Okay.
So let's do high ready, low ready. How about that? 8-6.
9-4. Stand by.
Oh shit! Nice.
Hey, when you're doing auto dumps, you should go to full auto. Let's try that again.